Alright mates, how's it going? In today's video, Chapter 7 of Rise of the Horde by Christy Golden. This is pretty much the end of Act 1 of the story. So let's go! Durotan stood next to Draka, with his arm around her waist in a protective gesture. He wasn't exactly sure why he felt she needed defending. There was just something in Drekthar's face, in the faces of all the different clan shamans, that chilled him to the bone. Durotan also kinda wished he could stand with Orgrim. There was no one, besides Draka, that he trusted more. But Orgrim, of course, stood beside his own chieftain, who was looking at the gathered shaman as if they were all pieces of shit.
Looks like Blackhand's been too long away from the hunt. He's spoiling for a fight. He may well get it. Look at their faces. I've never seen Drekthar like this. Not even when Mother Kashur got all smashed up.
Ner'zhul then stepped forward into the centre of the gathered crowd, raised his hands and used his shaman powers to light a bonfire. And that parlour trick managed to gain a few murmurs of appreciation before everyone settled down.
As the darkness falls, in more ways than one, sit you beside the fire. Let each clan sit to itself, with its own shaman, and I will call you forth to speak when the time is right. Perhaps you wish us to fetch a slain beast for you too, and lie obediently at your feet at night.
Durotan recognised the angry voice, which is impressive considering everyone sounds the same. 'Twas Grommash Hellscream. The Warsong chieftain stood with his arms folded, glaring at Ner'zhul, but the elder shaman did not rise to the bait. He just sighed deeply and continued.
Many of you feel your honour is offended. This I know. Give me leave to speak and you will be glad that you are here. Your children's children will be glad of it.
Hellscream growled, but then just shrugged.
I have had a vision from one of the ancestors whom I trust more than I can possibly say. She has revealed to me a threat, lurking like a poisonous scorpion under a flowering bush. All the other shaman can attest to this, and they will, once they have the opportunity to speak. It grieves and infuriates me that we have been so duped.
Durotan hung on Ner'zhul's words, his heart racing. Who was this mysterious enemy? How had such a dark foe escaped their notice?
The enemy of which I speak is the Draenei.
And then chaos erupted. A whole bunch of orcs yelling, "You what, mate? That's preposterous and outrageous!" And as Durotan looked over at Orgrim, he saw in his friend's eyes the same stunned shock that he himself felt. Surely this couldn't be true. Not the Draenei. They weren't even fighters, really. They hunted, sure, but only to survive. The Frostwolf chieftain's thoughts then went back to the day the Draenei saved him and Orgrim from the ogre. Why would they risk themselves to save two boys if they were truly as evil as Ner'zhul suggested? None of this made any bloody sense. However, Grommash Hellscream's terrifying war cry then filled the air, causing everyone to shut the hell up.
I know this startles you. It shocked me as well. But the ancestors do not lie. These seemingly benevolent people have been waiting for years, until the time is right to attack us. They sit safely behind their strange buildings made of materials we do not understand, and they harbour secrets that could benefit us greatly. But why?
Durotan hadn't even realised he was speaking until it was too late. But he was committed now, so...
Why do they want to attack us? If they harbour such vast secrets, what do they need from us? And how could we possibly defeat them if this is true? That I do not know, but I do know that the ancestors are concerned. We outnumber them, not against their superior knowledge. They came here on a ship that sails between worlds, Blackhand. You think they'll fall to arrows and axes?
Blackhand didn't particularly like the way Durotan had just spoken to him, but fortunately, Ner'zhul went ahead and interrupted before that could escalate.
This has been simmering like a stew on the fire for many decades. Resolution and eventual victory will not come overnight. I'm not asking you to go to war right this minute, just to be aware, to discuss with your shaman a course of action, and to open your minds and hearts to a union that will ensure triumph.
All eyes were on Ner'zhul, wondering where the bloody hell he was going with his words.
We are separate clans, yes, each with its own traditions and heritage. I'm not asking you to give up that proud history, merely asking you to open your minds to a unity that takes clans that are strong alone and turns them into an unstoppable force. We are all Orcs, Blackrock, Warsong, Thunderlord. Don't you see how little those distinctions matter? We are the same people. In the end, we want safe homes for our young, success in the hunt, mates who love us. We are more alike than different.
Durotan agreed with that statement. Once again, he glanced over at his best mate, and Orgrim looked back and nodded. Durotan would not be who he was today if it had not been for Orgrim's steady strength, and he knew in his bones that Orgrim felt the same way.
May I speak?
Juritan turned and was surprised to see that it had been Drekthar that had asked that question.
My chieftain, what Ner'zhul has said is true. Mother Kashir confirmed it.
The rest of the Frostwolf shaman nodded, and Juritan just kind of stared at them.
Kashir said the Draenei are our enemies. I'm afraid so. It is time for the clan chieftains to listen to their own shaman, as Juritan has just done. We will reconvene at twilight. These are the people you know and trust. Ask them what they have seen.
And so, the gathered crowd began to disperse, very cautiously, with each clan heading back to their own encampments.
The Draenei are not our friends. My chieftain, I know you in the Doomhammer Blackrock stayed with them one night. I know that it appears that they saved your life, but let me ask you, was there anything that seemed a bit weird about them?
Juritan had a little think about it. The Draenei had appeared very, very quickly to rescue him and Orgrim from the ogre, but then he frowned, because thinking this way made him feel like a bit of an ungrateful asshole.
Your brow furrows, my chieftain. I take it your youthful faith in them is now starting to wane.
Juritan didn't answer. He didn't even look at Drekthar, just stared down at the ground. He didn't want to feel this way, but the doubt was creeping into his heart. Restalan. There was an arrogance to him, when he'd spoken about how they'd watched the Orcs grow in strength and skill. And then there was...
Speak, my chieftain. What do you recall? Their prophet. He asked many questions. Of course he did. What an opportunity. They've been plotting against us ever since they arrived. And to find two, forgive me Juritan, but two young and naive children to tell them everything they wanted to know must have been quite an event.
The ancestors wouldn't lie. Juritan knew this, and now that he recalled the events of that day and night in this new light, it seemed almost obvious how suspicious Velen's actions had been.
There is a part of me that doubts yet, my friends, and yet I cannot stake the future of my people on such thin ice as my own personal doubts. Ner'zhul did not propose an assault tomorrow, only asked for us to train, prepare, and come closer as a people. This I will do, for the good of the Frostwolves, and the good of the Orcs. The Frostwolf clan will prepare for war.
And we're leaving it there! Ooh! It's really interesting to see over the next few chapters how much of an impact this has on Orcish culture, almost immediately. It's kind of like William Blake's Songs of Innocence and Experience. You've got the innocent Orcs that are one with nature and stuff, and then you've got the child labour warmongering Industrial Revolution Orcs. I imagine Christy Golden did that on purpose. Link in the description if you're interested in buying the book, as well as my Discord and my Patreon page. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, all of that bollocks, and all that's left to say is thanks for watching, and see ya!